Welcome to my live for today. So, I received some questions previously, and essentially it was, well, don't the immigrants have First Amendment rights, and therefore why should they be afraid to say anything? And I had to explain that yes, there's definitely First Amendment rights for immigrants to speak up, to criticize, and so forth. But there's also the reality of what ICE is doing today, how they are going after anyone who does not look white and anyone who works at a place they believe the person is not a US citizen. Okay, never in my 33 years of practice ever have I heard an ICE agent go up to someone and go, prove you're a US citizen. Okay, that just doesn't happen, but it's happening today. And so there is an element of fear whenever anybody wants to speak up. They're afraid for themselves because maybe they're a lawful permanent resident, maybe they're a non-immigrant, maybe they have applications pending, maybe even they're a naturalized citizen. I have seen people who are afraid to say anything because they're a naturalized citizen and excuse me, based on the rhetoric of the Trump administration, they're afraid that their citizenship will be taken away solely because they weren't born here. And so there is the First Amendment, which protects them. No doubt it protects them, and it's in the Constitution. And then there's the reality of ICE through the instructions of the president to basically deport anyone and everyone that they believe is either not white or not looking like a US citizen. They're totally profiling. So the fact of the matter is that when this happens, people have to speak up and they have to oppose this type of injustice. But then again, there's a reality where people are just afraid they're going to be taken into a van and disappeared. And so, what I would suggest is if you can get an attorney, an immigration attorney who knows what they're doing, that will not be on call, but will know your situation and give a consult. And if you are taken, if you are improperly detained, the attorney can then file all kinds of stuff. You know, the habeas corpus, they can do a bond redetermination hearing, they can represent you in removal proceedings, they can find out where you are. All kinds of stuff can happen if you have an attorney basically who knows the situation. The problem is twofold that a lot of people they can't, afford the attorney. And secondly, that even if they can, there's still that fear. So distinguish between what is lawful and where the fear begins, and at least have a plan that if something happens, that you have people who are notified, that you have an attorney who's on call that's basically ready to go forward and protect you. And in that way, you'll be in a much better position to criticize the administration without the fear that you're going to be taken because you're criticizing. Okay?